Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about how I think Comic Cons will soon be a thing of the past. This video was inspired by another channel called Spro's Comics. He put out possibly one of the best comic book related videos I've seen in quite some time. And in this video, he basically shows examples of books priced at cons, talks to comic book dealers, and basically gives his take on what he thinks is happening at Comic Cons and why he thinks they will fail. In this video, he talks about this one book specifically, Fantastic Four number 5, the first appearance of Doctor Doom. This dealer at this convention has this book priced for $9,500. The content creator talks about how this book specifically has never, in the history of price charting, sales transactions that have been recorded on GoCollect, GPA, has never hit these type of numbers. He went back into 2021, 2020, 2022, all of the times when it could have actually been the peak value for this book. It's not even close. A lot of the figures that he's seeing specifically even now, that this book is selling for around $3,000 to $4,000 in that CGC 2.0 grade. I don't know when this video and this photo of that book was taken, but at this point it doesn't even matter. This dealer was marking up that book over $5,000 to $6,000. What is going on here? If any of you have been to a Comic-Con recently, this is nothing new. There is something called con prices. And this is an example of that. It's a double entendre, meaning you're at a convention and it's a con artist trying to pull one over on you. What is this guy's game plan here? This dealer intentionally put this book priced at that. What is the plan? I've talked about this on previous videos really, comic dealer prices at conventions. And I truly think that these guys are lions or some sort of predator laying in wait for their prey to come. In an age of cell phones, price technology is readily at our fingertips. Who is paying this price? I think what's happening here is extremely insidious, and Spro's Comics talks about this in his video. But I think what he's trying to do, and I think the potential customer for that $9,500 book is somebody that doesn't know what the hell they're doing and somebody that doesn't have ready access to price technology. So who is this person? Well, unfortunately, it's probably somebody like this guy. Some older gentleman, a boomer, an older person who still has trust, still has faith in a dealer, a reputable business owner. And I can speak to just talking about my parents in general. They trust companies, they trust corporations, they trust dealers, they trust these people to be reputable. I mean, they've got a storefront, a sign, they've priced their books, a good display. I mean, why wouldn't they be trustworthy, right? Well, one quick look at GoCollect, one quick look at GPA analysis will tell you that this book is grossly overpriced. This dealer is trying to lay in wait for somebody like that. If a schmuck like me or a schmuck like Spro's Comics, young buck with a cell phone, comes up there and says, hey, this is makes an offer of $4,000, that dealer will laugh in your face. One, two, we're not the potential customer. We are not the customer. The customer is out there, still doing his checkbook balancing by, writing it in the checkbook. Like that is who their customer is. It gets better. He has other examples, additional examples, specifically a book that has fallen completely from grace. And that is this Avengers number 8, the first appearance of Kang the Conqueror, a book that we all know the story. I mean, a failed actor, a failed character in a failing MCU, being sold for $3,500 raw. He shows sales examples of this where books in the 8s, books in the 9s, basically he said that this book needed to be a 9.0 or better to justify that price. And one look at that book, and the chances of that book being a 9.0 or higher are extremely low. He then goes on to show other examples: an Avengers #1, a Daredevil #1, first appearance of Daredevil. These books are major books. Any collector would want to have them in their collection, but not so fast, not for these prices. Avengers #1 and a 4.0 selling for $6,000. Daredevil #1, 5.5 selling for $8,000. These type of books really kind of follow with their grade, the grade assigned them. They kind of follow an Avengers one, a 4.0, maybe $4,000. A Daredevil #1, 5.5, maybe 5,500. That is kind of like the trend that you see with those books specifically. But one quick look at Go Collect again, and this guy shows that that is not the story at all. This book is selling significantly cheaper than that. So what does all this information mean? What does this mean for Comic Cons? Well, I think Comic Cons will fade away and give birth to this new thing, which is the Comic Expos or the Pop Culture Con. And basically they steal the name Comic Con, label it as that, and then, pass it off as that's what this is a Comic Con, when really it's not about comics at all. It's about Funko Pops, fake weapons, Nerf guns, and cosplay. That's what it is now. But there's also an alternate train of thought where I talked about this with my wife. There is a future where Comic Cons don't go away. It's perpetuating, but in a way that you don't immediately realize. So just like Spro, him in investing in a Kang the Conqueror and him losing his butt on that book, an Avengers 8, and seeing that his book is now worth half of what he bought it for. And some of the other books, his Daredevil one, I'm sure he's overpaid for, as well as many of my comics that I got into this, and now my collection is worth a fraction of what it once was. What happens is I think that we, Spro, me, guys like us, millennial-esque age, we perpetuate this by becoming the dealers. So what I mean by that is, in a Comic-Con, in a far-flung Comic-Con, where I'm setting up a booth at New York Comic-Con, selling all my treasures, trying to get out of this, this is what is happening. The people that I'm looking at that are selling a first Doctor Doom for $9,500, are they me from the past? Are they me, the guy that lost their butt on a book that is just trying to get it, trying to recoup some of their loss? It's a possibility. My wife said it's kind of like a pyramid scheme, and I said, well, I don't necessarily think it's a pyramid scheme, but I think it's a self-perpetuating thing where if I were to sell my collection and not piece it out one by one, I would have to sell it to some kind of dealer. And that dealer would have to come evaluate my collection, say, hey, I can make money on this, and okay, if I can get this for a good deal, then I can flip it. It's this game, this hot potato. Basically, it's passing books from person to person to person, which most of these dealers do already, but especially these speculation guys who are basically trying to get the book at a certain value where they think that they can make money on it in the future. And it's this perpetuating game that there is a reality where Comic Cons don't go away. It just gets worse and worse and worse of guys trying to gouge each other to try to recoup losses. I don't see how so basically I don't see how after the boomers go, after the old guys, the old guard pass, and they don't want to have anything to do with this, which we're close there anyway, what happens to this whole game? Like, immediately everybody in the game wises up to know exactly how much books are worth. There's no more, the chances of the schmuck coming in and paying $9,500 are now so low, like there's not even any purpose of trying to sell it at that. And he talks about, online sales, online retailers. Basically, this is the future, and especially for guys like me who I know how to use a computer, I know how to use Instagram. This is the easier, the better way of getting books at a better value. He talks about, if some of these prices, some of these books had been put on these sellers, these consigners on Instagram, they would have been laughed off of the page. Like $9,500 for a first Doctor Doom. Like, are you kidding me? Like nobody in their right mind is going to pay for that. And honestly, the consigner it would be like disrespectful on their page to even put that on there, because it's like, this isn't even close to what this is worth. I find it offensive that you're doing this to my customers. So I don't know. I give this guy credit for blurring out faces, because if that was me, I'd put that dude on freaking blast. He is a criminal. What he is doing with the $9,500 book is freaking criminal. These guys shouldn't be able to get away with this. These guys need to go away. Like, these dealers need to go away. They shouldn't be allowed to keep getting away with this. Guys, what do you guys think? If at any point in time you like this video, give the thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. Take care.